On a quiet afternoon, the sun shone warmly over the small town of Willow Creek. The streets were calm, and a gentle breeze carried the smell of fresh flowers from nearby gardens. Cars passed slowly, and people walked with their daily routines. Among them, a small red car moved down the road before suddenly sputtering and stopping in the middle of the street. The engine made strange noises and then went completely silent. Inside the car, a young woman named Mira tapped the steering wheel nervously. She had a meeting to attend, but now her car refused to start. Mira tried turning the key again, but the engine only clicked. Her heart raced as she looked around. People walked past, some glancing briefly at her and her broken car, but nobody stopped. Mira felt a mix of frustration and worry. Nearby, on a worn wooden bench, a man sat quietly. His clothes were old and his shoes had holes in them. His hair was slightly messy and his hands were rough from work, but his eyes were kind and full of warmth. His name was Sam. He did not have a home, but he carried a heart filled with hope and kindness. He had learned long ago that helping others was more valuable than anything else in life. Sam noticed Mira struggling with her car. He saw the tension in her eyes and the small beads of sweat on her forehead. Without hesitation, he stood up and walked toward her. Mira noticed him approaching and felt a little unsure. She had never seen him before. His clothes were dirty and he looked like he had little in life. She wondered if he could really help. "Excuse me," Sam said gently. "It looks like your car is having trouble. Maybe I can take a look. I like fixing small problems like this." Mira hesitated. Normally, people who looked like Sam would ask for money in return for help, but his calm and sincere voice made her pause. She wanted help and maybe he really could fix the car. She nodded slowly. "Okay," she said. "Please try. I don't have much time though," Sam smiled. "Don't worry. I'll do my best." He rolled up his sleeves and leaned under the hood of the car. Mira watched closely, curious about what he was doing. Sam's hands moved skillfully. He checked different parts of the engine, turned a few screws, and adjusted some wires. He spoke quietly to himself, explaining what he was doing in simple words. Mira listened, fascinated. She had never seen anyone work so carefully and patiently. People passing by stared at them, whispering to each other. Some thought Sam could not help because of his appearance, but he ignored them. His focus was only on helping Mira. After a few minutes of careful work, Sam turned the key in the ignition. The car's engine started smoothly. Mira gasped in surprise and relief. "You fixed it?" she asked, amazed. Sam wiped his hands on a rag and smiled gently. "Yes, it needed a small adjustment. Nothing big." Mira looked at him, feeling a warmth inside. She had expected someone to demand payment, but Sam said nothing. "You don't want money?" she asked. "No," Sam replied. "I just like helping people. That's enough for me." Mira felt a strange mix of admiration and gratitude. In a world where everyone seemed busy and selfish, Sam had stopped to help a stranger without asking for anything. She realized that true kindness did not need money or reward. It came from the heart. As Mira prepared to drive away, she looked at Sam and smiled. "Thank you. I will remember this," she said. Sam nodded and waved. "Remember to help others when you can. That is the best reward." Mira started her car and drove off slowly, glancing back at the man who had fixed her car for free. She could not stop thinking about him. There was something special about Sam. In that small act of kindness, he had made a big difference in her day. She did not know it yet, but this encounter would change both of their lives forever. The next morning, Mira could not stop thinking about Sam. His calm smile, the way he had fixed her car without asking for anything, and the kindness in his eyes stayed in her mind. She wondered how someone who had so little could be so generous. Most people she knew would have asked for money or a favor. But Sam had done nothing for himself, only for her. Mira decided to go back to the park where she had first met him. She wanted to see him again, not because she had anything to offer, but because she wanted to know more about the man who had made her day brighter. She arrived just as the sun rose, painting the park in golden light. Birds sang from the trees and the soft sound of a fountain filled the air. Sam was sitting on his usual bench, quietly watching the world. Even though he had little, he seemed content. He smiled at people who walked by, gave directions to lost children, and even shared a small piece of bread with a stray dog. Mira watched from a distance, amazed at his gentle way of helping everyone. She noticed that people treated him differently. Some ignored him, some looked at him with curiosity, but Sam never asked for anything. Taking a deep breath, Mira approached him. "Good morning," she said softly. Sam looked up, his eyes lighting up with recognition. "Good morning. Nice to see you again," he said warmly. Mira smiled. "I wanted to thank you again for yesterday. You really helped me when no one else would stop." Sam shrugged. "I just like helping. It's nothing special. I think everyone should help each other whenever they can." Mira noticed the quiet honesty in his words. She wanted to do something for him, but she remembered how he had refused money. Instead, she sat down beside him on the bench. They talked about small things at first, the weather, the park, the people passing by. Sam shared simple stories about his life, the small jobs he had done and how he had learned to fix things by watching others. Mira listened, fascinated by his perspective. As the morning passed, more people came to the park. A young boy struggled to ride his bicycle. Sam walked over and offered a hand. He patiently showed the boy how to balance, encouraging him with kind words. Mira watched quietly. When the boy finally rode successfully, Sam clapped and smiled. The joy on the boy's face was enough payment for him. Mira realized that Sam's happiness came from helping others. He did not need money or praise. He had discovered something that many people missed: true joy in simple acts of kindness. She felt inspired. She had always been busy with her own work and life, focusing on goals and success. But seeing Sam made her think differently. Perhaps helping others should be more important than just achieving personal success. After some time, Mira decided it was time to leave, but she wanted to make sure Sam knew how much she appreciated him. She reached into her bag and offered a small sandwich. "Here, I made this for you," she said. Sam smiled but shook his head. "Thank you, but I don't need it. I will be fine." Mira laughed softly. "Just take it. Consider it a small gesture of friendship." Reluctantly, Sam accepted the sandwich. "Thank you," he said quietly. "It's nice to have a friend who cares." As Mira walked away, she felt a new sense of respect for Sam. He had nothing in terms of wealth, yet he had more generosity and warmth than many people she had met in her life. She knew that meeting him had changed something inside her. She wanted to learn from him, to understand how someone could live with such kindness every day. Sam watched her leave, holding the sandwich gently. He did not know that Mira's life was very different from his own. She had wealth, comfort, and a busy life in the city. But for now, they shared a simple bond, a connection built on kindness and mutual respect. That day, the world felt a little brighter for both of them. One, because he had given kindness freely, and the other, because she had discovered that true goodness could be found in the most unexpected places, and neither of them knew that this small encounter was only the beginning of a story that would change both their lives forever. The next few days passed quietly, but Mira could not stop thinking about Sam. She remembered the way he had smiled while fixing her car, how he had worked patiently without asking for anything, and the calm kindness in his eyes. It was unusual to meet someone who gave so freely without expecting anything in return. Mira wondered how a man with so little could have so much goodness in his heart. She decided to return to the park where she had first met him. The morning sun was soft and the air smelled faintly of flowers and fresh grass. Sam was sitting on his usual bench watching people pass by. He greeted everyone with a small nod or a smile. Mira noticed how he offered help to anyone who needed it. A child had lost a ball, and Sam gently picked it up, returning it to the boy with encouragement. A woman struggled to carry groceries and he offered to help. Mira was quietly amazed. She walked up to him and said, "Hello, Sam. How are you today?" Sam looked up and smiled warmly. "Hello, Mira. I am fine, thank you. It is nice to see you again." Mira sat beside him. "I wanted to ask you, why do you help so many people? Even when you have little, you give so much." Sam looked down at his hands for a moment, then spoke softly. "I have not always had much, but I have learned that happiness comes from helping others. Money or things cannot give the same joy. When I help someone, even in a small way, it makes my day brighter." Mira felt a deep respect for him. Most people she knew would have used their wealth to feel powerful, but Sam found happiness in giving. It was simple, pure, and rare. She realized that the world needed more people like him, people who cared for others without asking for anything in return. As they talked, Mira watched Sam help a young boy whose bicycle chain had come off. Sam knelt beside him, gently fixing the chain while explaining how it worked. The boy listened carefully and smiled brightly when the bicycle was ready to ride. Sam clapped and encouraged him, saying, "See, you can do anything if you try." Mira felt a warmth in her chest. She had never seen someone care so much without expecting reward. After helping the boy, Sam turned to Mira and said, "Life is better when we help each other. Even a small action can make someone's day." Mira nodded. "I agree. And meeting you has made me think differently about my own life. I often focus on work and money, but watching you, I see that kindness is more important than anything else." Sam smiled quietly. It is never too late to change. Every day is a chance to do something good. Mira felt inspired. She wanted to learn more from Sam, to understand how he kept hope and kindness even though life had been hard. She realized that he was teaching her something very important. True happiness comes not from wealth or success, but from helping others. Before leaving, Mira reached into her bag and handed Sam a small bottle of water and a sandwich. "Here, I brought this for you," she said. Sam hesitated, then accepted it. "Thank you. That is very kind of you," he said softly. Mira smiled. "I just want to say thank you for everything you do." "I am grateful I met you." Sam nodded, his eyes gentle. "I am grateful to meet someone who understands that kindness matters. That is more than enough for me." As Mira walked away, she felt a sense of hope and inspiration she had never felt before. Sam had changed something inside her. His small acts of kindness had reminded her that helping others could bring joy and meaning to life. Sam watched her leave, holding the sandwich carefully. He did not know that Mira's life was very different from his own. She had wealth, comfort, and many opportunities, but for now, they shared something more important, a connection built on respect, understanding, and kindness. The morning passed peacefully, and the park felt alive with small acts of love and care. Mira's heart was full, and Sam continued to help anyone who needed him. Both of them had learned something valuable that day. True goodness is rare, but when it is found, it can touch lives in ways nothing else can. Over the next few days, Mira could not stop thinking about Sam. Every time she remembered his smile and the way he helped people without expecting anything, she felt inspired. She had met many people in her life, but few had hearts as kind as his. Mira knew that Sam was special, and she wanted to understand him better. What Mira had not told Sam was that she lived a very different life from his. She was wealthy and owned a large company in the city. Her life was filled with work, meetings, and responsibilities. People often saw her as busy, serious, and focused on success. But Mira also cared deeply about finding people with pure hearts, people who valued kindness above money or status. Meeting Sam had made her heart certain. He was exactly the kind of person she had been looking for. Mira decided to come up with a gentle plan to spend more time with Sam. She wanted to learn more about his life, to see how he thought, and to witness his kindness firsthand. But she did not want to use her wealth to impress him. She wanted to approach him as a friend, as a normal person, so that he could remain himself and not feel pressured. The next morning, Mira went to the park early. She brought a small bag with a few sandwiches, water bottles, and a notebook. Sam was already there, sitting on his bench and watching the people around him. Mira smiled and walked over. "Good morning, Sam," she said cheerfully. Sam looked up and smiled back. "Good morning, Mira. It is nice to see you again." Mira sat beside him. "I thought I would join you today. Maybe we can share some food and talk." Sam nodded, grateful for her company. "That sounds nice." "Thank you." As they shared the sandwiches, Mira observed him quietly. Sam continued to notice people around the park. He helped a young girl who had dropped her books and guided an older man who was looking for a bench. Mira felt admiration growing inside her. Every small action showed that Sam's kindness was natural. It was not for attention, and it was not for reward. During a break, Mira decided to ask a gentle question. "Sam, have you always lived in the park?" Sam looked thoughtful. "No, I have moved a lot. Life has not been easy for me. But I have learned that even when you have very little, you can still help others. That is what makes life meaningful." Mira nodded, deeply moved. She wanted to do something for him, but she remembered that Sam did not want money or gifts. She realized she could offer something more important, friendship and trust. "I like spending time with you, Sam. You have taught me something very important, how to see the world differently." Sam smiled softly. "It is easy when you care. People sometimes forget that even a small act of kindness can make a big difference." Mira spent the rest of the morning quietly observing Sam. She noticed how he remembered names. smiled at strangers, and helped animals in need. Every act, no matter how small, reflected the purity of his heart. Mira felt certain that Sam's goodness was real. She decided that she would continue visiting him, not as a wealthy woman trying to help, but as a friend who appreciated his heart. Later that afternoon, Mira walked home thinking about her plan. She would visit the park often, get to know Sam better, and see the world through his eyes. She wanted to understand how a man with so little could give so much. Mira realized that money could not buy the lessons she had learned from him. His kindness was priceless, and she felt grateful to have met him. Meanwhile, Sam continued his quiet life in the park, unaware of Mira's wealth and plans. To him, she was simply a friend who had taken an interest in his world. He valued her company and her respect, but he never imagined that their connection could lead to something more significant. That day, both Mira and Sam learned something important. True goodness is rare, and when it is discovered, it has the power to change not only one life but many lives. Mira's secret plan was just beginning, and little did Sam know their friendship would soon lead to life-changing events for both of them. The following morning, Mira woke up early with a sense of excitement. She was eager to see Sam again and spend more time with him in the park. She wanted to watch how he treated people and how his kindness made a difference. Today, she thought, she would focus on simply being with him, learning from him without interfering in his life. When Mira arrived, Sam was already in the park. He sat on his usual bench, quietly observing the world. The sun had just risen, and a soft light painted the trees and flowers in gold. Mira noticed a few children playing nearby. One little boy was struggling to climb onto a swing, while a young girl was trying to carry a basket of flowers but was having trouble balancing it. Sam noticed both children and immediately stood up. He went to the boy first, kneeling down to show him how to climb safely onto the swing. He encouraged him with gentle words, "You can do it. Just try again, slowly." The boy followed his instructions and finally swung with delight, laughing happily. Then Sam helped the girl balance her basket, guiding her with patience until she could carry it steadily. Mira watched quietly, impressed. Sam's attention to small details and his willingness to help anyone, no matter how small the task, was remarkable. After the children had left, Sam returned to his bench. Mira sat beside him, smiling. "You really care about everyone, don't you?" she asked softly. Sam looked at her and nodded. "I do. Everyone needs a little help sometimes. Even small things can make a big difference in someone's day." Mira felt inspired by his words. She realized that helping others was not about grand gestures or money. It was about noticing the needs of others and offering what you could, even if it seemed small. She wanted to learn from him and try to see the world in the same way he did. As they talked, an elderly man walked past, struggling to carry a bag of groceries. Sam immediately stood and offered his help. "Here, let me carry that for you," he said kindly. The man looked surprised but gratefully accepted. Sam walked beside him, helping him all the way to a nearby bench. He set the groceries down and smiled warmly. "There you go. You're all set." Mira watched and felt a deep sense of admiration. Sam did not help because he wanted praise or reward. He helped because it was the right thing to do. Mira realized that true kindness came from the heart, and Sam's heart was pure. Later, Mira offered Sam some food she had brought with her. "I thought you might like this," she said, holding out a small package. Sam looked at it, surprised but grateful. "Thank you. That is very kind of you," he said, taking it carefully. Mira smiled. "I just want to be your friend and share a little with you. You have done so much for others, and I want to show my gratitude." Sam nodded quietly. "I appreciate it. Having a friend who cares is very special." For the rest of the morning, Mira stayed with Sam. She noticed how he remembered people's names, spoke to them kindly, and offered help whenever it was needed. A small bird had fallen from a tree, and Sam gently picked it up and placed it safely back on a branch. A man had dropped a wallet, and Sam picked it up and waited until the owner returned to collect it. Every act, no matter how small, showed the depth of his kindness. Mira felt a growing sense of respect and admiration. She realized that she wanted to spend more time with Sam, not to change his life with money, but to understand how someone could live with such generosity and humility. Sam was teaching her an important lesson. The true measure of a person was not their wealth or possessions, but the goodness of their heart. As the sun climbed higher in the sky, Mira finally stood to leave. "I will see you tomorrow, Sam," she said, smiling. Sam waved gently. "I will be here. Thank you for coming." Mira walked away feeling inspired. She knew that her life had changed in small but important ways. Sam had shown her that even small gestures of kindness could make a big difference. She was beginning to see the world through his eyes, and she knew that their friendship was just the beginning of something meaningful. That day, both Sam and Mira had learned something important. Kindness was powerful, and friendship could grow from the simplest acts. A few days later, Mira arrived at the park feeling curious and thoughtful. She had grown fond of Sam and admired his gentle heart. Every time she watched him help others, she realized how rare true kindness was. Today, she decided to observe him even more closely, to see if his goodness was constant, even when situations became tricky. As she walked toward his bench, she noticed Sam helping an older woman who had dropped her knitting basket. He picked up the scattered balls of yarn carefully and handed them back to her, smiling warmly. The woman thanked him, and Sam simply nodded, saying, "Everyone deserves a little help." Mira felt inspired as she watched him. After the woman left, Mira thought it was the right moment to see Sam's character in a subtle way. She decided to pretend she had lost her wallet in the busy part of the park. Holding her bag tightly, she acted worried and began looking around, making it seem as if she needed help. She was careful not to make it too obvious. Sam, noticing her distress, immediately walked over. "Are you okay?" he asked gently. Mira looked up at him, frowning slightly, and said, I think I lost something important. I don't know what to do." Without hesitation, Sam offered, "I can help." "What did you lose?" Mira hesitated, then replied, "My wallet. I think it might have fallen somewhere. I don't have much money, but it has some papers I need." Sam nodded, his expression calm. "Don't worry. Let's find it together." Mira watched quietly as Sam guided her through the busy park, checking benches, pathways, and small corners where it might have fallen. He did not complain or show frustration. Instead, he remained patient, encouraging her gently. "It's okay. We will find it. Don't give up," he said softly. During their search, a man walked past offering to help if Mira gave him money. She noticed the difference immediately. Sam had never asked for payment or tried to take advantage of the situation. Mira realized that his heart was honest and selfless in a way that others rarely were. After a few minutes of searching, Mira picked up the wallet herself, pretending to find it near a bench. "Oh, here it is," she exclaimed. Sam smiled warmly. "I'm glad you found it. Remember, it's always good to stay calm. Sometimes things can be solved with patience and care." Mira's heart swelled. She had seen it. His kindness was not a performance. He had genuinely helped her without expecting anything in return. She realized that his generosity came from his character, not from wanting praise or reward. Later, Mira decided to spend some more time with Sam quietly. They shared a small meal, sitting on the bench as the sun shone softly through the trees. Mira asked about his life, and Sam spoke gently about his experiences, the people he had helped, and the lessons he had learned. Every story he told reflected humility, patience, and love for others. Mira felt more certain than ever that Sam's heart was rare. Most people she knew could not act so selflessly, especially when they had little, but Sam did it naturally every day without expecting anything in return. She realized that wealth could never measure true goodness, and she admired him deeply for it. As the day passed, Mira finally stood to leave. "I will see you tomorrow, Sam," she said with a smile. Sam nodded and waved gently. "I will be here. Thank you for spending time with me." Walking home, Mira felt a mixture of gratitude and inspiration. She had learned a valuable lesson. True kindness is constant even when tested. Sam had passed her gentle test without realizing it. She knew now that his heart was genuine, pure, and rare. For Sam, the day was peaceful, filled with helping others and enjoying Mira's company. He did not know that Mira had tested him, but her quiet observation confirmed something important. His goodness was real. That day, both Mira and Sam discovered something powerful. A heart that gives without expecting anything is a treasure, and witnessing such kindness can inspire others to live better lives. A few days later, Mira arrived at the park feeling both excited and nervous. She had spent so much time observing Sam and enjoying his company that she felt a deep connection forming. She knew that Sam's heart was pure, and she wanted to take the next step, Today, she planned to reveal a small part of her true identity, but she wanted to do it gently without overwhelming him. Sam was sitting on his usual bench, as calm and kind as ever. When he saw Mira approaching, he smiled. "Good morning, Mira. I'm glad to see you." Mira smiled back. "Good morning, Sam. I'm happy to be here too." They began their morning as usual, sharing a small meal and talking about simple things: the weather, the people in the park, and the animals they had noticed. Mira watched him help a young boy who had spilled his ice cream, cleaning it up and giving him a gentle smile. Sam's kindness was constant, even in small moments, and Mira felt admiration growing stronger inside her. After some time, Mira decided it was the right moment to speak. She looked at Sam and said softly, "Sam, there is something I want to tell you. You know me as Mira, your friend in the park. But I want to be honest with you about who I really am." Sam tilted his head, curious. "What do you mean?" he asked. Mira took a deep breath. "I am not just a regular visitor. I have a company in the city, and I have a life that is very different from yours. I have wealth and responsibilities that you might never imagine. But I wanted to meet you not because of your situation, but because of your heart, because of your kindness." Sam blinked in surprise. He had never expected this. He had always thought of Mira as a kind and friendly woman who enjoyed spending time in the park. The idea that she was wealthy and had a very different life surprised him, but it did not change his feelings. He looked at her quietly, waiting for her to continue. "I wanted to see the world through your eyes," Mira continued. "I wanted to understand how someone can be so generous and caring, even when life is hard. And I have realized something very important. Your heart is pure, Sam. That is something money can never buy." Sam looked down for a moment, then smiled softly. "I never thought about it like that. I just try to help people when I can. That is enough for me." Mira felt touched by his humility. "Sam, I want to be honest because I respect you. You have shown me that true goodness comes from the heart, not from wealth or status, and that is why I value our friendship so much." Sam nodded slowly. "I appreciate your honesty, Mira, and I value our friendship too. You have been kind to me, and that matters more than anything else." Mira smiled, feeling relief and happiness. She had feared that revealing her life might make him uncomfortable, but instead it deepened their connection. They continued to talk, laugh, and share small stories. Mira realized that wealth did not create bonds. Kindness and understanding did. During the morning, Mira noticed how Sam continued to help others in the park. A young girl had dropped her drawing papers, and Sam gently picked them up and handed them back with encouragement. A stray dog wandered nearby, and Sam gave it some water. Even after learning her secret, his heart remained unchanged, selfless and pure. By the time Mira stood to leave, she felt a sense of peace. "I will see you tomorrow, Sam," she said warmly. Sam waved gently. "I will be here. Thank you for trusting me." As Mira walked away, she realized that revealing the truth had made their bond stronger. Sam had not been impressed by her wealth or position. Instead, he had remained himself, honest, humble, and kind. And Mira had learned that true friendship and respect were based on understanding, not on material things. That day, both Mira and Sam discovered an important truth. When hearts are pure, trust and friendship can grow stronger than any obstacle, and kindness can create connections that are deeper than anything else in life. The next morning, Mira walked to the park with a light heart. She had revealed a small part of her life to Sam the day before, and it had not changed him. He remained humble, kind, and attentive to the people and animals around him. Mira realized that Sam's goodness was natural. It came from his heart, not from anyone's expectations. Today, she decided to focus on helping him in a quiet way, without making a show of it. As she approached the bench, Sam looked up and smiled. "Good morning, Mira. It's nice to see you." Mira smiled back. "Good morning, Sam. I brought you something small. Just some food for today." Sam accepted it politely. "Thank you. That is very thoughtful of you." After sharing their simple meal, they walked slowly through the park together. Mira noticed how Sam greeted everyone, always with a smile or a kind word. He helped a child pick up a ball that had rolled under a bush, and he gave water to a stray dog that seemed thirsty. Mira watched quietly, feeling admiration and gratitude. She realized that Sam's heart had the power to inspire people, including her. Mira had thought about offering him help in a bigger way, but she wanted to respect his life and choices. She knew that he found happiness in helping others, not in receiving gifts, so she came up with a quiet plan to make his life easier without changing who he was. She arranged a small apartment near the park where he could rest safely, but she did not tell him that she was the one helping. She wanted him to continue living freely while still having a comfortable place to return to when needed. Later that day, Sam helped a young woman whose bicycle chain had come off. Mira noticed how patient he was, explaining each step and encouraging her to try again. The girl smiled and rode away happily. Sam turned and waved at Mira, who smiled back. She realized that his small actions, though simple, had the power to make many people's days better. After the park began to quiet down in the afternoon, Mira sat with Sam for a while longer. "Sam," she said gently, "you have taught me so much in these days we have spent together. I have learned what true kindness looks like, and I want to carry that lesson with me every day." Sam looked at her with his calm, warm eyes. "I am glad. It is always good to share kindness. That way it spreads to more people." Mira nodded. "You have a special gift, Sam. You may not realize it, but you inspire everyone around you, even me." Sam smiled quietly. "I just do what I can. That is enough for me." As the sun began to set, Mira finally stood. "I will see you tomorrow, Sam, and I hope you know how much you mean to the people around you." Sam nodded and waved. "I will be here. Thank you for your friendship, Mira." Over the next days, Mira continued visiting Sam, quietly helping him and sharing small moments of friendship. She never forced her wealth or life onto him. Instead, she let their bond grow naturally. Sam continued his gentle work, helping anyone who needed it, unaware of the quiet support Mira had arranged for him. He remained humble, kind, and selfless, and Mira felt grateful for the chance to know him. Eventually, people in the park began to notice the change. They saw a man who, despite having little, gave so much. His kindness touched the lives of children, adults, and even strangers passing through. Mira watched with pride and happiness, knowing that true generosity could exist in the simplest forms. Sam had never asked for recognition, and he never would. But his heart had already changed the lives of everyone he encountered, and Mira, the woman who had wealth and status, had learned a powerful lesson. True happiness comes not from money or power, but from selfless love and kindness. In the weeks that followed, their friendship became a symbol of hope. Mira and Sam, though from different worlds, shared a connection built on respect, care, and the simple joy of helping others. Together, quietly and humbly, they proved that kindness was stronger than wealth, and love for humanity could touch lives far more deeply than anything else. And so, Sam, the man who had nothing, became the heart that inspired a small city, while Mira, the woman with everything, discovered that friendship and goodness were the greatest treasures of all.